Every day, millions of workers across the country show up to do their jobs. They clock in, follow procedures, and try to make it home safe at the end of the day. But far too often, a normal day takes a dangerous turn, caused not by machines, fires, or electrical hazards, but by something as simple as a wet floor, an uneven walkway, or a misplaced cable. Slips, trips, and falls are among the most common causes of workplace injuries. They might sound minor, but the consequences are anything but. These incidents can lead to broken bones, head injuries, lost time, permanent disability, and in some cases, even death. Employers are required by law to provide a safe working environment. That includes identifying and addressing common hazards that lead to slips, trips, and falls. According to OSHA, employers must assess workplace risks, correct hazards, and provide training so that every employee knows how to recognize and respond to dangers before they become accidents. But responsibility doesn't stop with management. Every employee has a part to play in creating a safe workplace. That means staying alert, paying attention to surroundings, and being proactive in reporting hazards, no matter how small they may seem. A spill, a loose tile, or a broken step might not look serious, but if left unaddressed, it could lead to the next workplace injury. Consider this: slips, trips, and falls account for the majority of general industry accidents. They're the leading cause of workers' compensation claims, and they are responsible for thousands of injuries and fatalities every year. But here's the good news: they are also some of the easiest to prevent. When employers and employees work together, these accidents can be dramatically reduced or eliminated. Simple steps, consistent training, and shared awareness are key. Whether you work in an office, a warehouse, a hospital, or a job site, these risks are everywhere, and so are the opportunities to prevent them. In the next 3 sections of this training, we're going to take a closer look at each type of hazard, one at a time. First, we'll focus on slips, what causes them, how to avoid them, and what to do if one occurs. Then, we'll move on to trips, those sudden interruptions in our path that can catch us off guard. Finally, we'll look at falls, both from the same level and from heights, and explore the serious consequences that can follow. By understanding these hazards, recognizing them in real-world settings, and knowing what actions to take, we can all contribute to a safer, healthier, and more productive workplace. Safety isn't just a policy, it's a culture, and it starts with knowledge, awareness, and action. So let's begin. In the next section, we'll dive into the causes, consequences, and prevention strategies for slips. Let's take that first step towards safer footing.
Slips might seem like minor mishaps, but in the workplace, they can lead to serious injuries, lost productivity, and long-term consequences. This section is all about understanding what a slip is, why it happens, and how we can work together to prevent it. A slip occurs when there's not enough friction between your foot and the walking surface. This loss of traction causes you to lose balance, often resulting in an uncontrolled fall. You might slip on a wet floor, a patch of oil, or even smooth tile that's just been polished. In all of these cases, the danger isn't just falling, it's what happens during and after that fall. When a person slips, the body's natural reaction is to twist or catch itself, which can lead to muscle strains, sprains, torn ligaments, or broken bones. Back injuries, tailbone bruises, and head trauma are also common. Some of these injuries may not seem severe at first, but even a seemingly minor slip can lead to days, weeks, or even months off the job. Let's take a closer look at the most common causes of slips in the workplace. First, wet or recently cleaned floors are a leading cause. Whether it's from mopping, a spill, or tracked in rainwater, any wet surface can become hazardous if not properly marked. Failing to place a wet floor sign or to block off the area increases the risk for everyone. Second, greasy or oily surfaces, especially in kitchens or mechanical shops, are a major concern. Grease doesn't just make surfaces slippery, it also spreads, creating a wider hazard zone if not cleaned correctly. Third, Icy or snowy outdoor surfaces can turn sidewalks, parking lots, and building entrances into danger zones during colder months. These should be cleared and treated promptly with salt or sand to reduce the risk. Other overlooked causes include floors with dust, powders, or fine debris, such as in construction zones or warehouses. Even dry surfaces can become slippery when coated with fine material that reduces traction. Improper footwear can also contribute to slip hazards. Shoes with worn-out soles, slick-bottomed dress shoes, or the wrong footwear for the job environment all increase the risk. The shoes we wear at work aren't just for comfort or style, they're safety equipment too. Now let's talk about how we can prevent slips and create a safer workplace for everyone. First, every employee should be trained to recognize potential slip hazards. That means noticing puddles, greasy spots, debris, and sudden changes in flooring. And more importantly, taking action when you see them. If you spill something, clean it up immediately. If a floor has just been mopped, use a caution sign to alert others. If you notice a leaky pipe or roof that's creating a wet area, report it. Waiting for someone else to notice can result in an accident that could have been prevented. Next, let's talk about footwear. Choosing the right shoes for the job can make a huge difference. Look for non-slip soles with strong tread patterns. Slip-resistant shoes are especially important in kitchens, hospitals, janitorial work, and outdoor environments. Employers should provide or recommend appropriate footwear, and employees should take that recommendation seriously. Now let's consider the environment itself. Are floors in high-risk areas covered with anti-slip mats? Are entryways equipped to deal with rain or snow? Are problem spots treated or replaced with better materials? Environmental design really matters. Even small investments in safety can pay off big time by preventing major injuries. Lighting also plays a role. Poorly lit walkways can hide slick spots and make it harder to spot moisture or spilled materials. If a light is out or visibility is poor, make sure to report it. Good lighting is honestly just part of good safety. Routine inspections are also key. Supervisors should walk the facility regularly to check for signs of spills, moisture buildup, or slippery conditions. But, it's not just their job. Employees should be part of the safety process too. When we all take responsibility, accidents are far less likely. So what should you do if you find a slip hazard? Well, first, make others aware. If it's a spill, try to block off the area or place a warning sign if available. Notify your supervisor immediately, and if your workplace has a hazard reporting system, be sure to use it. If you slip and fall, even if you think you're not hurt, you should definitely report it. Some injuries, especially to the back or head, might not show symptoms right away, Reporting allows you to get checked out by medical staff, and it also helps the company prevent others from getting hurt in the same spot. Let's be clear here, slipping is not just bad luck. Most slip incidents are actually preventable. It really comes down to awareness, equipment, cleanliness, and of course, communication. So to wrap up this section, remember that preventing slips starts with each of us. Always look out for wet or greasy areas, wear the right shoes, clean up spills right away, and never ignore a hazard just because it seems small. Safety doesn't happen on its own. It's something we all build together, step by step. In the next section, we'll shift our focus to trips, those unexpected hazards that cause us to stumble, catch our feet, and lose balance. Whether it's a loose cable, an uneven floor, or an object left in the walkway, trip hazards can be just as dangerous as slips. Let's keep going.
Trips are honestly one of the most overlooked hazards in the workplace, yet they can be just as dangerous as slips. While a slip happens when you lose traction, a trip occurs when your foot strikes an object or uneven surface, causing you to lose balance and fall. The end result can be just as serious: injury, time off work, and in some cases, lasting damage. Trips often happen in places we least expect: a cord across the walkway, a box left near a door, a carpet edge that's lifted just slightly. Even a floor transition, like going from tile to carpet, can cause someone to stumble if they're not paying attention or if the area isn't properly maintained. Let's break down some of the most common causes of workplace trips. Clutter is a major factor. When walkways aren't kept clear, the risk of tripping increases dramatically. Tools, boxes, cords, bags, and even open drawers all create hazards if left in the path of foot traffic. Poor lighting can make it harder to spot these dangers, especially in stairwells or storage rooms. Uneven flooring is another big concern. Loose tiles, cracked pavement, or changes in floor height, even as little as half an inch, can be enough to cause a fall. Damaged mats, wrinkled rugs, or poorly placed floor coverings only make things worse. So what kinds of injuries can happen from a trip? Just like slips, trips can result in bruises, sprains, fractures, or head injuries. But they also frequently lead to falls, especially if the person is carrying something and can't catch themselves. And because trips tend to happen suddenly, the body often hits the ground harder and with less control. Fortunately, many of the prevention methods for trips are the same as those we use for slips. Keep walkways clean and clutter-free. Coil or tape down cords and cables. Use proper signage when floor conditions change. Ensure that lighting is bright enough to make potential hazards visible. And if something is out of place, fix it or report it. As with slips, footwear matters too. Good traction helps, but it's just as important to be alert and avoid distractions. Don't walk while texting. Watch where you're going. And if you see something in the way, move it or let someone know. If you do trip and fall, take it seriously. Even if you think you're okay, report it. And if you notice a trip hazard, like a loose mat or open cabinet, don't ignore it. Mark it, remove it, or report it so others don't get hurt. Trips can happen anywhere, but with awareness, good housekeeping, and shared responsibility, they can be prevented. Next, we'll move on to the final part of this training: falls. Whether it's a fall from the same level or from an elevated surface, the consequences can be life-changing. Let's take a closer look. Falls are the final and most serious piece of the slip, trip, and fall puzzle. In many cases, a fall is the direct result of a slip or a trip. Losing traction or catching your foot on an obstacle often leads to a sudden, uncontrolled fall. And while some falls might seem minor, the consequences can be severe. There are two main types of workplace falls: falls at floor level and falls from elevation. A fall at floor level happens when you fall to the same surface you're already standing on. It might not sound serious, but falls at the same level account for the majority of fall injuries in the workplace. A simple fall onto a hard surface can cause sprains, broken wrists, hip fractures, head injuries, and even spinal damage. It's easy to underestimate the impact a few feet can have, but when a body falls unexpectedly, it often lands awkwardly and with full force. Falls from elevation are even more dangerous. These are falls from ladders, scaffolds, platforms, loading docks, stairways, or even just a few steps up a ladder. The higher the fall, the greater the risk of serious injury, or honestly, even death. Common causes of elevated falls include improper ladder use, missing guardrails, unprotected edges, and unstable surfaces. Workers may be carrying tools or materials that make balancing harder, and a single misstep can have life-altering consequences. The good news is that just like slips and trips, falls can often be prevented through attention, good habits, and proper equipment. First, maintain 3 points of contact when using ladders: 2 hands and 1 foot, or 2 feet and 1 hand at all times. Make sure ladders are properly secured and inspected before use. Never use a broken or makeshift ladder. Guardrails, harnesses, and other fall protection systems must be used whenever required. For same-level falls, prevention means keeping walkways clear, floors dry, and lighting sufficient. Stay alert, avoid distractions, and be mindful of your environment. At the end of the day, slips, trips, and falls share the same basic solution: awareness, housekeeping, proper equipment, and a commitment to safety. Whether it's a puddle on the floor, a cord across a walkway, or a missing railing on a platform, recognizing and addressing hazards protects everyone. Workplace safety isn't just about avoiding fines or checking a box on a form. It's about making sure everyone goes home healthy every day. By paying attention, following procedures, and looking out for each other, we can prevent slips, trips, and falls, and build a stronger, safer workplace together.